So good evening. So guys, today we will be continuing with our Git session. Okay. So in the last session, right, we had covered up to Git 4 day 4 session where like we had covered about the basics of what is a Git branching, what is the necessity of the Git branching and everything. That is what we had covered in the last session. I know it has been very long time since we have not, like recorded any Git. So from now onwards, what happened, right? We will cover it. Another 2 to 3 sessions will be available, or we'll be recording for the Git, so that we'll be completing our whole Git series. Okay. Now, so what is the agenda today? So the today's agenda, that is a Git day 5 session. I would continue from where we had left. Actually, we had left from the Git branching itself. Actually, okay, because it's a very important topic and there are a lot of things are there which need to be covered as part of the Git branching. So in the last session, if you have seen my last video, Git day 4 video, you know that to some conclusion, I have created the branch, how to create the branch, how to check out the branch, what is the need of branch and all. I had clearly explained over there, and some of you also did some kind of a practicals. But because I got to know that some of you had some kind of a confusion when they were doing practicals, right? So when they did a practical, lot some few confusions they had while doing it actually. So what I will do, that those clarification I'm going to clear off in today's session actually. It means that what we will do, we will try to brush up the whole Git branching again one more time with practicals again we will do. That's what, right? So this will take some ample of time, and we will try to cover up even the Git reset concept also. If suppose assume that if the session goes more than beyond 1.5 hour today, and if you're not able to do it, like what I will do, I will cover this Git reset tomorrow in tomorrow session. Tomorrow Sunday also I will be taking one more session on Git. That would be a Git day 6 session. Okay. So now, so when, yeah, any doubts guys? Okay, thank you Rajesh, thank you Sanjay sir for joining that session. Okay, right. Now you can please mute yourself as well as off your video, please. Sure. Okay, thank
Doing
you.
that.
Yeah. So today what we'll do, right? We will be brushing up again the branch. So if you remember, or if some of you might have gone through the Git day 4 session, you would have seen that this is what the picture, or this is what in the MS Paint I had explained you about what exactly a branch is actually. Now, for example, this is your Git server. I don't want to do it. I don't want to repeat the same stuff again because it will take a lot of time. That's what before starting the session, I had already told that you need to carefully go through the Git day 4 session. And then when you come to the Git day 5 session, you will clearly understand it. And one more thing, guys, some of you might be hearing for the first time or sitting for the first time for the Git session. If you are not followed my previous videos, everything will be Greek Latin for you guys. So I would request that you cover all those videos previously and then you come with the Git day 5 session. But today we will continue the Git branching itself. Now, now what happened, right? I will tell you the scenario. I will set the scenario and then we'll continue it. Here, what happened, guys? We are having a Git server. And in the Git server, I have created a directory by name slash project. You have to get into the slash cd to slash project directory, and you have to do a git init hyphen bear. So if you are running this command, you're making the slash project directory as a centralized repository or as a remote repository. Okay. Now after that, what happened, right? You have so many developer machines are there. Developer one, developer two, developer three, or else client one, client two, client three, like that. There are so many machines are there. So many clients are there who want to do a code check-in into the slash project directory. Okay, who want to do a code check-in. So what will happen that actually that so uh, so developer one, what he will do, right, or the client Git client one, he will try to create one directory by name slash developer one. He will do a git init to make sure that the developer one is initialized as a Git repository. That's what he has to run a git init command. You know that init command has to get executed from the client side, and the git init hyphen bear, this command has to be executed from the server side or the Git server side. So whenever you want to make it any server or any server as a Git server, you need to run this command git hyphen space uh, hyphen bear, like that. This command you have to run. Anyhow, we'll be doing practical all these things so that you'll try to understand everything. So I'm making this slash project directory in the Git server as a Git repository. It means that it acts like a centralized repository. Now here what I'm doing that I did a git init, and after that we know very well that whenever you want to connect from the developer one to developer two, it means that the developer want to do a code push to the Git admin, right? He has to do a Git remote add origin root at the rate specify the IP address of the Git admin / project. Like that, you have to do that. You could see that here Git remote add origin root at the rate. This is the private IP address of the Git admin and / project. So this is the path where the centralized repository is placed. That's what you need to give the complete path. And inside this, what I'm doing that I'm creating some files and all. I'm pushing that file once I'm doing Git commit. After that, I'm pushing those commit changes to the Git server under the / project directory. Now, this Git server or the Git admin, it is actually integrated with the Git with your Jenkins actually. In Jenkins, what happened, guys? You have created a job actually. So it's a Jenkins jobs. So like you have job one, job two, job three, like that you have created. So what happened that as soon as any code check-in happens to the master branch, so this job one, job two, job three, which is there in the black color, right? This is the Jenkins jobs which will get triggered automatically whenever there is a code check-in happens in the master branch. Now, as part of the job, actually, what the job one, job two, job three will do? This is a series of jobs, right, which we have written in a Jenkins server. So it is something like we have written a freestyle project or a pipeline, what something you have written here over here. Now, what the job does that apart from the Git server, you are having something like a build server, right? And also we have one more server known as Ansible server. Now, what we are doing that because suppose for example, you are actually building a project or you are developing a project which is used for developing some e-commerce project. So you might be developing. So the developer might be developing. The developer might be developing e-commerce project. You know that e-commerce project like something like your Flipkart or Amazon, right, where you do online shopping, right? So this is the e-commerce project, right? So that's the e-commerce, right? So or you can or something like we have a VLC player. Suppose you are developing a VLC player, VLC media player. Sorry guys, yeah, or VLC media player. Something you might be developing some VLC player you are developing, right? So you might be developing that. The developer is developing the code of the VLC project and they're trying to push the code into the master branch. As soon as the code is pushed and you have used Java language to develop the VLC code. So you have used Java language to develop the VLC project or e-commerce project, whatever e-commerce project. So, right now, if you see the diagram, guys, you could see that actually you are pushing the code, and that code is nothing but it's a Java-based code. As soon as you push the code into the master branch, what happened that this is a series of jobs are there which will get triggered. So there is something like a job one, job two, job three. What job one will do? Job one will try to do a clone of the code what is there in the master branch, right? And the clone will be happening in your build server. So you have created a separate build server where you have right where you have created some kind of a tool for no some kind of a tool which does building of the project. Like here you have pushing the VLC project or e-commerce project which is written in the Java. Java need to be compiled or Java need to be built. You need to build a package. So you need a Maven tool actually. So this build server is nothing but where you have installed Maven, right? Maven or Gradle or whatever or Ant tool. So it is like a build server. So what happened, right? As a part of the job one, so what that job one will do in the Jenkins, it will try to pull the code what is in the master branch. It will be copied to some location within the build server. And finally, what happened? The Maven build will be called. That Maven will try to create a package. It will try to create a package. That is what the job one does. That's all. After that, what happened? That job two will get called. As soon as the job one will get completed, the next job is job two. That will get triggered. What the job two will do? It will try to copy that package what you have built in the build server. It will try to copy into the Ansible server. That's all. That is the second job. And the third job is that whatever you are having the package here, that's a VLC package or e-commerce project package there. Package is not but it's a binary. The package need to be pushed into your production server or into the live environment or into the live server. So then what happened in the Ansible server? You have written a playbook file, and that playbook file will act like a deployment script actually, or it is a deployment playbook file. So when you are running the playbook file, so as part of execution of the job 3 in the Jenkins, what the job 3 does, it will try to trigger this playbook file which is present in the Ansible server. So you need not to worry that Git server is integrated with the Jenkins. This Jenkins is integrated with the build server, as well as the Jenkins is integrated with the Ansible server also. Now, as of now, you try to understand that integration is already done. Don't worry now. We will see in the later part of our class that how to integrate the Jenkins with the build server or into the Ansible server. We will see that because we already started the Jenkins, right? We would be seeing all those parts, even how exactly Jenkins is integrated with the Git server. That also we will try to cover. All those things we will be covering in our Jenkins sessions. Don't worry about that. Okay. As of now, you have to only understand. Okay, Jenkins is integrated with the build server, as well as Jenkins is also integrated with the playbook with your Ansible server. Also, like that you have to understand. Now, guys, what happened, right? So job 3, what will do that? It will try to run this playbook file. What the playbook will do, whatever the build is there, right? What was build? Suppose that you have a vlc.exe, that vlc.exe file or that executable file or that package need to be pushed into this production server. So here in the real time, what happened, right? You have something like a green blue deployment, or you have a kind of a canary deployment server where what happened, right? One set of production servers which are nothing but active mode, and other set of the production servers which are in passive mode. It means that those servers which are in the passive mode, they will not be giving any kind of a request to the end client. They will be simply there. It will be kind of a standby. And this is main server or the live server which will be giving service to the end client machine. So that's what we call it the green blue deployment. So in the green blue deployment or in the canary deployment, one set of servers will be always be active and running, and other will be in a passive mode. And here what we have did, right, we have created a load balancer in both the things, in both these servers actually, and all these IP addresses, whatever we are having. Suppose in the green server, in the green rack server, you are having some 4 servers. All these 4 servers IP addresses are integrated with the load balancer. Same thing, all these 4 servers of the passive, that is a blue server, that are integrated, or those IP addresses have been added to the load balancer. So I have mentioned the name as load balancer 1, load balancer 2, like that. And on top, you have configured a DNS server actually. In the DNS server, what you have, you have your own domain name, and this in the DNS server, or in case of AWS, you have a Route 53 service. So where happened that you have written a rule saying that in the Route 53 that suppose any request comes via with the domain name, like suppose you type something like mycloudecommerce.com. If the client is typing this, where that request has to be redirected, it has to be redirected to the load balancer 1, right? And whenever any request come to this, the load balancer to LB2, like that, this you have already added this entry into your Route 53 into the DNS. And this DNS is integrated with your internet. And here you have a lot of customers or clients who want to open or who want to download that e-commerce project or who want to access the e-commerce project. Or else if this end client, they want a VLC player, right? They can directly download that VLC player also, because they want to download the VLC media player, right? So they'll try to connect over the network and they will try to just do a www.vlc.com. Like that, if you do it, right, they will try to connect to this DNS, and the DNS will further pass on the request to the load balancer. The load balancer will see that which server is available so that it can provide that service to the end client. So this is what the whole architecture we had understood in our last session. But here the problem is that actually, guys, okay, fine, we are having a developer 1. He will try to develop. Suppose there's a project by the VLC project he's developing. He's writing a code. He's doing a code check-in into the master branch. Okay. As soon as the code gets committed into the master branch, this Git server is integrated with the Jenkins server. Okay. So as soon as the code is committed or code comes in the master branch, automatically what happens? These jobs will get triggered. And what this job does, it will try to take the code from the master branch. Finally, it will try to create a package and it will be pushed into the end server or to the live server. Assume that there is one more developer 2 is there, who is also doing the same. He's also working on the same VLC project. He will also try to push the code into the master branch. So we know that as soon as the code comes into the master branch, automatically the Jenkins job has to get executed. And again, one more code check-in will happen. One more code check-in happen by the developer 2. The build. So this jobs will get called. This job is going to pull that code. It is going to build a package, and finally the package will be pushed into the live server, onto the production server. Now the stuff is that, guys, if suppose there are 100 developers are there, or there are more than 10 or 12 or 15 developers are there, they'll be keep working on the same project, right? VLC project, right? And they'll be keep doing push. Now what happened, right? A case, there's a situation where whatever the code which the developer is developing, if it is not properly working, if it is not properly 100% tested, unnecessary what happened, right? You are trying to push that build whatever job you are creating, right? What are the code you are pushing, and through that whatever the build, the package is built, right? Unnecessary that package is been like pushed to always to the live server, right? Into production will keep pushing it, right? Now what the Git admin or the Git administrator will say that, he will say that, boss, why you are doing this like this? Say today you have did 100 times of commit to the master branch, 100 times like the code has been built and it has pushed to the live server, and we could see that out of 100 times, 90% of the times the build has failed or the code is not working properly. Only 5 times the code is working fine. It means the ratio of working, the your ratio of getting the proper your software code is, the ratio is very less. Why are you doing that? He will say that don't do that unless and until you have a proper code with you, a working code with you, right? And if you are comfortable that, yeah, if you are confirming that, yeah, this code will work fine because it doesn't have any much flaws or not much bugs into that, then only you try to push the code right into the master branch, right? Unless until, don't do that. He will strictly tell to the developers not to push the code to the master branch unless and until it is properly tested. Okay. So now what happened, right? He will restrict to do a code check-in into the master branch. Who will restrict, guys? The Git server or Git administrator, or else the DevOps engineer will try to stop it. Right. Now the question comes, what is an alternative for this now? Okay. So the alternative is that, actually, guys, you need to create one branch actually. You need to create a branch actually. Now what the Git administrator or the Git server DevOps engineer say that, okay, no problem. Let me create one branch for you, known as the staging branch. You try to do a push everything, whatever the code changes which you are doing for the VLC project, please push into the stager branch. Now what happened, right? So now what the DevOps engineer will do that, this is a staging branch, guys. So what happened, right? There is one more set of Jenkins job is written for the staging branch. Like you could see that job 1, job 2, job 3, which are in the green color. Now what it says that as soon as you do a code check-in into the staging branch, because this Git admin or the Git server is integrated with the Jenkins, trigger these jobs actually. And also we have the same servers like build server and the Ansible server here also. This is particular for the staging, and this build server are the Ansible server. This is particular for your master branch. So you have even separated even the same set of servers, even you are separated even for the staging branch also. It means that what happens, guys, the DevOps will say that, okay, we will set up you a separate staging servers for the build, for staging for your build server, staging for Ansible server, so that whatever you are doing a code check-in into the staging branch, right? We have configured one more separate job which will get triggered, because right, finally even you need to test the product, right? What are the developers are developing the VLC project or e-commerce project? Finally, it has to be tested, right? Before you push into the live production server, it is to be tested thoroughly, fine, without any bugs. The software code should be pushed into live server. Before that, the staging has to undergo with the staging branch. So here, that's the reason, guys, what happened, right? A new branch by name staging was created by your Git admin. And what happened, right? Once the Git admin has created a staging branch, all the developer ones, developer 1, developer 2, they'll try to fetch this branch from their Git server to their local machine. They'll fetch it. We will see all those things. How to do the fetch means you have to run the command as a git fetch command. So that even in the day 4 session, last session also we have seen that. But anyway, today again we will see that same practical. Now what happened, right? This staging branch, whenever the developer 1 or developer 2, when they're doing a code check-in into the staging branch, these job sets are getting called. What the job 1 will do, guys? Job 1 will try to fetch the code what is there in the staging branch into this build server. And what happened in this build server, there's a Maven tool is already integrated or installed. That Maven tool, what it will try to do, it will try to build the code, what has been fetched from the staging. It will build the code and it will create a package, or it will create a binary, we say. Okay, fine. After the job 1 is completed, the job 2 will get triggered. What the job 2 will do, it will try to copy whatever the binary or whatever the package there in the staging branch into the Ansible server. It will try to copy. That's all the job of job 2 is. Once the job 2 is completed, the next job, what is job 3? Job 3, what will do that whatever you are having in exe or whatever you are having the binary or nothing but their package, that package need to be pushed to one of the other set of servers. So here we have one more set of server, guys, which we call it as a UAT servers or the pre-prod server. It means that pre-prod means pre-production servers. So this is a live server. This we call as a production servers. And this is not but the UAT server, not but the pre-prod server. So this also having some set of servers, guys. So what the job 3 will do, the job 3 is going to trigger this playbook file, which is there in the Ansible server. That playbook file, what it will do that whatever you are having, the package or the binary, it will try to copy or it will try to deploy that package into these 3 servers or 4 servers, into this servers actually. This is the UAT server, guys. This is a UAT environment or UAT server, or you can even call it a pre-prod server. So now the code has been pushed into the server. Fine, very good. Now what happened here? Your company has hired some UAT engineers or UAT testing engineer or performance engineer. What those guys will do, guys, they will try to verify the product if it is working fine or not by doing some kind of a testing into this pre-prod server. Okay, fine. So they said that okay, so they'll try to test it. Now once they test it, they'll try to confirm this UAT testers or your what you call your performance engineer. They'll try to test this whatever it is there in the server, and they'll try to confirm that whether the project or whether that product is actually working fine or not according to the requirement. They will try to verify it. Now if they say okay fine, it is perfectly working fine here in the UAT server, what this UAT engineers will do that they will certify saying that yeah, now what happened, now the product is working fine, now whatever the VLC player or the e-commerce project are, now it is working fine as per the requirement, it is behaving properly. So they will certify it actually. Once they do it, they will now say that okay, now the product is working fine, sir. Whatever the product which is being deployed here into the UAT server, please deploy the same product into this live server, into the production server. That's what they'll certify it. Now what happened, right? Now the working code, it is there in the staging branch now. So now what the Git admin will say that, okay, now you do a code commit, whatever there the staging to your live server. So for doing that, what happened, right? You need to do a code commit into the master branch. So now what the Git admin or the Git administrator will do that, he'll try to do a merge of the staging branch into the master branch. He'll try to merge the code from the staging to the master branch. That's what I said that, see git merge staging to the master branch. Like this command we have to use. As soon as the merge happens into the master branch, a new code commit has come to the master branch. Once there is a code commit happening to the master branch, you know that this job has to get triggered. What are this black color is there? No, job 1, job 2. This job will get triggered, and this job is going to fetch the code what is there in the master branch now. It will try to do a build, it will generate a package, and that package has to be pushed to the end server within this blue server, within this servers which is there in the live production servers, right? It will be pushed there. Now what happened, right, guys? With the help of the branching, where what happened in one day, in a single day, where 100 commits were coming into the master branch, and you are trying to push the same commit code change whatever is in the master branch into this live server 100 times. Now you have avoided. It means that out of 100 code push, now you are doing at least only one code push you are doing in a live server in one day. It means that you have minimized the risk of breaking the code into the live server by introducing the branching concept. Because in the branches, what happened, right? The developer one, developer, they can keep doing the code check-ins into the staging branch as much as they want, because that they want to do a lot of testing, they want to verify it. So a lot of code check-in is happening into the staging branch. So now what happened, right? As soon as the code checking happens, this particular jobs will get triggered, and these jobs will try to do the same stuff, and finally the code will be deployed into the main UAT server, and from the UAT server, finally what the UAT engineers or the UAT testers or the performance engineers, they'll try to verify it, and they'll try to say that maybe the developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, they might do 100 check-ins, 200 check-ins into the staging branch. 200 times these jobs will get called. Out of 200 times, maybe like 180 times the job might fail, 20 times the job might pass, but that's okay, because right, the developers are getting a continuous feedback about how their products are working. Means after the integration, everything right. Finally, once the code is pushed into this UAT server, they will try to verify from the testing engineer or the performance that how exactly they are doing testing. Once the testing is getting passed, then only they'll get to know, the developer will get to know that yeah, whatever we are developing is fine, right? So they'll try to make sure that they'll try to make a product very stable into the staging area or into the UAT, then only they'll try to push into the master branch. So that's the reason, guys, this branching concept comes. And you know that in industry, right, there are a lot of branches will get created, right? For example, you are having a VLC player. Suppose like your manager comes and he will give the project that hey, you develop the VLC project actually, right? But what happened, right? There are many engineers are there, developers are there. So what the manager will say that to some set of developers, like suppose like there are 5 developers are there, he will tell that you develop the VLC 1.0 release. If you do work on to the first release of the VLC player. So 5 developers you have been told to release to start working on the VLC 1.0. Okay, fine. Another 5 to 6 or six, another rest 6 developers or whatever developers are there, right? They have been told that you please work on the VLC 2.0 release or the next release. Okay, right? So maybe there might be already the project might already be available. The VLC player is already available. There could be some bug actually, right? You need to do some kind of a hot fix actually. So you might tell 2 developers to work on the VLC hot fixes. So there might be some kind of a showstopper, right? Or there could be some kind of a defect which the client has seen into the already existing VLC player or project, right? He might tell you to fix it. So you could see that actually you have divided all your engineers across different release of the same project actually. Then in that case, guys, what they have been told, right? Don't do everything into the master branch. So all these developers who are working for the project, right? They will not be given access to the master branch at all. They'll not be even given any permission to work on even to the staging branch at all. What the developers or what the Git admin will say that whoever are working on this VLC one project is, he will say that you please create your own branch, something like a VLC underscore 1.0 underscore release. You create this branch within your own local. You try to do whatever the code check-in or code commit, you try to do it into this branch actually. Same thing, the Git admin will say that you please create your own branch. So whatever the 6 developers are there, they might be working on the next release of the VLC. So he will say that you please create your own branch. So these guys, developers, what they will do, no, they will create something like this. They will try to create their own branch with this name. And some other developers are the 2 developers which are working on hot process, hot defect fix. They will say that you please create your own branch, which is nothing but the VLC hotfix 1.0 or 2.0, whatever. So what happened, guys? Here you could see that all these developers, they are locally creating their own branches and they will try to do a code check-ins into this branch. So why they are doing it? Because that why they are doing this, why they're creating their own separate branch, because that they don't have an authority to do a direct code check-in into the master branch or to the staging branch. Because the master branch and staging branch, this is controlled by the Git admin or the Git or the DevOps engineer. He will never give any permission to do a code check-in directly to these branches. So if there are 100 developers are there, developer 1, developer 2, developer, he will never be given any code check-ins happening into these main branches because they don't want to disturb into these main branches of the project. So that's the reason he will be telling this developer that you create your own branches. Guys, 1 second, guys. Let me back. Just 2 minutes, guys. I have to off my water motor. Just be available. Okay, sorry guys, the water was filled and mm, and I was supposed to switch off the so I just switched off it. Okay, thank you. So guys, where I was, sorry. Uh, yeah, so you have been told to all the developers to create your own separate branches and to start working on the separate branches. Once you have done with the separate doing a code checking onto the separate branches, you push this whole branch into the Git server or into the Git admin server. You push the whole branch there. Now, once you are pushing the whole branch into the Git server, later you allow me to do that merging branch and all, merging to the staging, from the staging to the master branch, and merging and all. I will take care of it. You don't worry. If the so merge I will do. If there is any code conflict is happening, I will sit with all developers to fix the code merge conflicts also. Like that, the Git admin will tell like that, or the DevOps engineer will say. So what I'm trying to tell that guys, all the developers have to work on their individual branches, and once they completed their work, suppose that today they have completed, they have did lot of code check-ins into this release branches actually. Now they say that okay, at the end of the day, my code has to see, I have to see like how in the staging environment is working. So what happened to developer one or developer two or a number of developers, they would have fixed, they would have did a code commit into the same branch. Now after end of the day, any one developer will try to push this whole branch into the Git server under the slash project directory. He will try to push it actually. Once he pushes, automatically what happens? The branch will be coming here into the Git server, and the Git server, what and the Git admin, what he will do, he'll try to merge that VLC 1.0, whatever the 1.0 release, right? He'll try to merge into the staging. As soon as you merge into staging, there is a code commit has happened to staging, and finally what happened is these jobs will get triggered. And with the help of the UAT engineers or the UAT testers, they'll try to verify the code, whether how the code is behaving fine, and they'll give the report to the developer saying that this is what so number of test cases has passed, so many number of test cases has failed. They might do a lot of sanity testing, they might go do some kind of a UAT testing and all. Finally they'll give the report to the developers, and the developers will get to know that okay, where they are standing. It means that whether whatever they have did as part of the code commit in the release branch actually, that is VLC 1.0, is it working or not. So based on the feedback from the UAT engineers, they will get to know where they are standing. Like that guys, what happened, right? This staging also plays a very sorry, the branches plays a very important vital role in a day-to-day activity whenever they are working on a project, right? And you know that the Git admin or the DevOps engineer, he's not free now. It's not like that he just created a branch and he slept like that. No, right? Because he has to do multiple jobs now. He has to give a user, he has to restrict the credentials of the login credential to the master or the staging. So he need to even manage all the user accountability or authentication, everything he has to manage. Plus he has to even take care of merging of the codes into this. And finally, you know that he has to even take care of setting up the build server, set up on the Ansible server, and make sure that the Jenkins will trigger all the jobs. So the DevOps engineer, he has to manage lot of things in a real time. Correct? so so this is what the scenario guys actually. And after, of course, whatever we are shown here in this diagram, it is only for the developer one. Similarly, there's a developer two is there who will be trying to do the same code commit into the staging branch. Even the developer three is there. You could see that there are n number of developers are there who will be doing a code check-in, right? And once they are doing code checking, you could see that these jobs will get triggered actually. This is for the UAT environment, the jobs will get triggered. So this is what guys I want to like set the base for you today, because you have to understand like why branching is required. I hope that you guys have understood why branching is so much important, right? And in interview, they'll ask you a lot of questions in branching only. What are the branching strategies which you use in your industry, in your company, or in your project? They'll ask you, right? How you are how you're calling a sorry, how you're calling a branching, how you're doing a code checking of the branching, and in your pipelining, how you're actually calling from that particular branch, everything. They will ask you in terms of the CI/CD pipelining. They will ask you everything. So this is what guys, which I want to convey you. Sorry. Now, see guys, we have already covered 40 minutes of time. So, okay. So now we will see the scenario like how things works practically. So, okay. So guys, now what we will do now. So this is my AWS, and I'm having all these three servers: Git server, developer one, and developer two. Okay. Now what happened? I'll try to log into all these three servers. So let me log into the Git server. Copy this public IP. So open this putty session. Paste this IP. Go to the bell. Make it as a none. Go to the appearance. Change it to something 12 or 14. Make it as a bold. Okay. And do a color setting background. Because here guys, I've already have a servers and I have already enabled the root login. I can even log in as a root, as well as I have even enabled the password authentication as yes. Everything I have did the set, and also I know the root's password. So hence what happened guys, I will be login directly as a root user. So I need not to give this authentication and all. Okay, and I'll go to the connection. I'll make it as a 30. Okay, and this is IP address, right? This is IP address of your Git server, and I'll try to open this. So it'll ask me for the user. So I'm giving root. So I'll give the password as a Red Hat. Okay, guys, you have logged in as a Git server. Okay, now log into the developer one machine. Okay, appearance, bold, color setting, backend. I need not to do any connection here actually. I can only go for connect. Here you could see that seconds between live is at 30 or meeting, and then it's open. So guys, this. So I'll do one thing, guys. Before I log in it, I'll do one thing. I need a multiple server for the Git server. Let me duplicate it actually. First, let me duplicate it. I need one more Git server. Root. And give the password. So I've given the password as root. So I have logged in. So I'm having a multiple Git server session. So I need it in my session. That's what I've created it. Right now you open the developer one. Now you copy the developer one public IP. Open the same putty session. Copy appearance. Make it as a 14 bold. Color background settings. Make it as a default color setting. Connection 30, and then the open. So root the login. So if you watch my previous video, guys, I have explained everything like how to do a passwordless communication, how to enable the root login, everything. I have set it up, everything. So you have to watch all the previous videos to understand. So here, so developer one has logged in. So similarly, I will go here and have to log into the developer two. Copy the public IP, open the putty, same stuff, guys. Color, background, connection 30. Open it. Root login. Password is Red Hat. Have logged in the developer two. So you are having a Git server, you're having a developer one, and you're having a developer two. All these three servers you have logged in it. So sorry, my cough is not going, guys. Actually, I'm getting a continuous cough. This is a Git server. This is nothing but your developer one, or you can call it as a Git client one, or you can call it a developer one. So here we are calling it as a developer one. correct? So here you're calling a developer 2, or we can call it a Git client 2 or developer 2. Now, so you know that they will be creating a directory here. So what you have to do in the Git server, guys, first you need to create a directory name slash project directory. Do cd to the slash project directory and do a git init -fn bear command. These things we are doing it. See here, I'm going to the Git server. So let me create a directory. Let me first see if they are having any project directory. I don't have any project directory. Okay. mkdir slash project directory, cd to the slash project, and do a git init -fn bear command. We're making, why you're running this, because you have to always run this command under the Git server, because you're making this slash project directory as a remote repository or as a centralized repository. That's the reason you have to run this command. Okay, fine. Coming back to the developer one. So what I will do, I will create some directory. Let me create a slash developer one as a directory itself. cd to the developer one, and do a git init. Same thing I'm doing here into the developer two. So mkdir slash developer two. So you need to create a local directory in your system, and then like you have to make it as a Git repository. You have to do a git init command. So the guys, this I have did it. So let me copy this very fastly so that you will get to know. I'm making it in my notes actually. What the steps I'm following. Okay. After that, this is for the developer one, and this is for the developer two. Okay, fine. Now guys, what you're doing that here. Okay, so in your Git, in your client one or in your developer one, you create a directory like this mkdir slash developer one. Okay, you did a cd to the developer one, and you did a git init. Good, you did all the things. You made this git one, sorry, this developer one directory as a local repository. That's what you have to run git init. Same thing you did it here like this mkdir slash developer two, cd to that path developer two, and did a git init. Yes. So now what you have to do, guys, actually that, because the slash project directory is the centralized repository. So when the Git client one or the developer one, he want to push the code into the slash project directory. So what happened? There has to be a connection established between the developer one to the Git server, right? And if you have observed or if you have attended my previous session, what I did, like I created a key actually, SSH-key journey. Once I execute this command, it has created a id underscore RSA and id underscore RSA dot pub. These two files got created when you run the command ssh-keygen. What I did, right? Whatever the content of this id underscore RSA dot pub, right? That I have copied into this Git server under the slash root dot ss directory. There's a file by name authorized underscore keys. There, I have copied the content of the public key to here in the authorized key. The same stuff, guys, in the developer too. You have executed a command by name ssh keygen. You execute a command ssh-keygen. This, if you observe or if you watch my previous video, you'll get to know. It has created id underscore RSA and id underscore RSA dot pub. Whatever the id underscore RSA pub of the developer too, right? That you need to copy it and you need to paste it in the authorized key. Right, that is what it did. Once you do it, what happened? The developer one or developer two, they can aram to do a code check-in into this Git server, into this slash project directory, because they have now they have got the authentication. If you don't do it, it'll ask you for the password, and you don't know the Git server's passwords, right? So hence you'll not be able to communicate. So that we have already did the setting. If you want to see that, see here. The Git server, the developer one is there. Now you could see that if I do an ls, nothing is there. If I do an lsfna, dot ssh is there. If you go inside the dot ssh, already these files are there. I need not to run ssh keygen, guys. I need not to run this. Already this I have already generated. What is the content of id_rsa.pub? If you do a cat of id_rsa.pub, you could see that this is the public key ss-rsa aab3. Can you see that this same content, guys, I have copied here into the Git server. So where I have copied here? So under the Git servers into the home directory, if you see the pwd, it's the home directory /root. Under that, if you do a lsfna, you could see that there's a .ssh directory is there. Now, if you see that there's an authorized key file is there. If I do a cat of authorized keys, can you see that? See, this is the public key of the developer one, right? See, root at the developer one. Can you match this? See, AA3, AB37. Okay, at the last you could see that GFRB. Okay, see here, come over here. See, GFRB, root at the, the same key, guys. I have copied from the developer one to the authorized key. Same thing in the developer 2 machine. Go to the home directory for the developer 2. Okay, that is /root. Under that, you have a .sh directory. Go to the sh directory. Under that, you have an id_rsa.pub. Open that id_rsa.pub. Here you could see that the same content here I have copied to the authorized key here. See, if you do when I did a cat authorized key, you could see this is the key of the developer too. Am I clear on this, sir? Till here I have understood. Any doubts you have? We have not started anything on branching. Okay, I need another 1 more hour to complete this branching. But have you understood it? Whatever I said now. So this is the first basic setting which I did it now. This already been covered in the previous class also. If you watch the videos, you'll understand. But I'm just refreshing everything one more time so that we will set a base, and from here we'll start doing what is branching. So already this thing is done, guys. Actually, you could see that if the developer one, he want to log into the Git server, can he log in? That and all we need not to do now actually. But I'm just saying that he can log in because this pub key is already there. That's what he can log into this machine. Okay. So now coming back here. Go back to those directories what you created. You created a /project directory. So get into /project directory. So this is nothing but your remote repository or centralized repository, which is in the Git server. Okay, fine. Go to the developer one. So developer one, I already created a directory named developer one, and I already initialized as a Git actually. How to check it? If you do lsfna, you could see that already .git directory is there. It means that it is already this developer one is a local repository, or it's a Git repository, you can say. Similarly, like this, if you go to the cd to the developer 2, already you have initialized it actually, because I executed git init, right? I already execute this command, right? Git init, right? I already executed. So I made this developer 2 as a repository, as a Git repository. So how to verify again? If you do an lsfna, you will see the .git directory. Oh, it means that it is a repository. Like that you have to understand. Okay. Now, what the developer one will do? Fine. First, what he will do, guys? He has to do a clone of whatever is there. Project directory, whatever is there, the Git, so he will clone it actually. Even though it's an empty directory, it doesn't have, but let me clone first. So what the developer one will do? He will be there under the developer one directory. You could see that. And now he will try to do a git clone of root at the rate, give the IP address of the Git server. So what is the public, what is the private IP of the Git server? So this is a private IP. Copy this private IP and then come over here, paste it, do a /project. What it says that it is cloning the project, but it appears that the clone project is an empty directory. That is fine. Okay, I cloned it. Okay, fine. Now when you do an ls, see guys, you already cloned the whole project directory under your developers one, under developer one, inside you have created a project directory. So this has been cloned. So let me do a cd to the project. Okay, fine. Now what the developer will do, he will simply run some command like git branch. Okay, let me check what is that. Oh, there is no branch. Okay, git log. There is no even log such also. Nothing is there. Okay, fine. Good. Now what this developer one will do, guys, he will try to create one file. So let me create one file, something index.html. He'll create a file. So he'll just say, welcome to software version 1.0, something. He will do that. So he'll try to edit this file and he will save this file. So now you could see that he has created a local file index.html. Now when he do a and he just written one line of code, I think that this is the source code what he's writing, or it's a project code what he's writing. Right now he will do a git status. So you see that this file is under untracked. He want to make it tracked. To make it track, guys, he has to run a command git add and then say index.html. This and all we have already discussed in our previous session, right? Git add. So from the untracked, he's making as a tracked actually. If you again run a git status, you could see that now earlier it was in untracked, now it has been tracked, and you could see even the color has changed. Earlier it was a red color, now it is a green color. It means that it is under tracked now. So now what happened that he will then now he need to commit the code change. So what he will do is so he's created a file, and inside the file he has edited one line, added one line, and then he has to run a git add index.html, and now he has to do a git commit -m, give some name actually. First commit by developer one and specify the file name index.html. Now you could see that he has committed it actually. So he has did a first commit. So guys, as soon as you do a first commit, when you do a git branch, can you see here that a master branch has been created? So what the developer one is doing that he is creating a file by using a vi index.html file. He writes some line into the file, something like welcome to software version 1.0 something. He has written just some line of code. And then, so what he's doing guys, after that, he is doing a git add. He will save that file and he will do a git add HTML, and he will do a git commit -m, give the message, some message he has to give, and finally he has to mention that file name. So as soon as the git commit he's doing, right, what happened, right, by default within the developer one, a default branch will be created that we call it as a master branch. So default branch, that is master branch, has created. You agree with me? It has created a master branch. That's what if you execute the git branch, it is showing as a master branch. Whereas in the git server, if you run the git branch, still there's no branch man in your git server. But already here the developer one has created a branch. So whenever he create the first branch, always the branch name will be always be a master branch. So can we create the first branch apart from the master branch? Can I create any other name? It is, I mean, no, you have to first create the master branch. You have to first create a master branch. That is a default branch will always get created for the first time. Right? So that's the first branch will get created. Okay, fine. Now you will say that, sir, Rajesh, I want to push this master branch into my Git server. Okay. To push that, you know that you need to run a git push origin master. Once you have pushed it, guys, right, you could see in the git server, you could see that if in the git server, when you executing the git log command, you could see that the developer one has committed the first time, and you could see that this is a commit id. So here what happened, guys, as soon as the developer one he commits it, he will get the first branch as a master branch. Now what he will do that as soon as he commits, he will get one commit id. If you execute the git log command, you could see that this commit id has been created, as well as there is a local branch created by name master branch. Okay. Now what he's doing that when he's doing a git push of origin master, he's trying to push. So whatever the master branch is there, guys, and also while committing, he got even some commit ID also, like something like 111. Here in this case it is different. I'm just saying 111. Now what he's doing here, developer one is trying to do a git push of origin master. Now what happened, guys, that this branch, master branch, will be pushed to the slash project directory. This whole master branch will be pushed to the slash project directory. And also, whatever the commit ID you are giving, right? Even that commit ID will also be pushed into your directory. That's the reason you could see that if you come to the developer one and if you do a git log, you could see that there's a commit ID by name EC78. Go to the Git server, and when I execute a git log, you could see the same commit ID. So the same commit ID will also be pushed from your developer one to the client. And even the branch is also pushed. That is a master branch. That's the reason if you execute the git branch, now it will show it as a master branch. See, now the git server has got a master branch. Okay, good. Now, according to the diagram, you said that Rajesh, whenever any code check-in is happening to the master branch, whether the job, this black color jobs will get triggered, yes, it will get triggered. And finally, what happened, right? A build will be there, a build will be created, and that build will be pushed into the live server. This is what it is happening when you're doing a code push or code commit to the master branch, because the Git server is integrated with the Jenkins, and this Jenkins server further integrated with the build server and with this Ansible server. So that's the reason what happened. These jobs will automatically get triggered as soon as any code check-in is happening or any code commit is happening into the master branch, right? So fine, good that the code commit has happened. Now the job has been triggered. Sorry. Finally, you see that the code has been pushed into the master branch, right? And after that, the Jenkins job has triggered and it has finally pushed whatever the code build deployment happens, right? It happens to the live server. That is what we have discussed, right? Okay, fine. You have did it like, right? Now what happens that now so developer one was working all these days, right? Developer one was working all these days. Fine. Developer two has went for the vacation or he went for the break. He will come back and he will say that okay, I need to start working on the same project, whatever we have been told. So he knows that the developer one is also one of the developer who's developing the project. Okay. Even I am also a developer who's working. So let me do one thing. I don't want to create from the scratch. I have to work on the same file where the developer one is also working. And also, obviously, developer one has committed the code to the Git server. So he has committed a code to Git server. Already this master branch might be there. What the developer two will do that he will try to clone that project. Whatever he will try to copy the same project here. How will do it? He'll try to run a command, git clone command. Git clone root at the rate, give the IP address of the Git server, and then :/project. Like that he will do. Who will do, guys? Developer two will do. So let me go back to the developer two machine. He's already there in the developer two directory. Good, and it is already been it is already initialized as a repository. Fine. Now what he will do that he will run a command was a git clone root at the rate, give the IP address of your Git server. This is a private IP. Copy it like this /project directory. Enter. So he has cloned the whole project now. Now when you do an ls, you could see the project directory has come. Now if you do an ls, oh, you could understand, okay, there's an index.html file is there, which was actually pushed by the developer one. How he will get to know who's the developer who has pushed it? He will just simply run a git log command. Oh, he'll get to know, okay, this was the first commit is already been done by the developer one. See, first commit by the developer one. Okay. Oh, he's a developer one. He will get to know. Okay, this file has been created and has been pushed by the developer one. Now, what the developer two will do? Okay, let me do the. So I'll add some more code changes to the same file, index.html file. What I will do, guys? We'll try to open that file, index.html file. We'll add next line of code here. Welcome to software version 2.0. Something you will add, and he will save this file. He'll do a git status. So it's been modified actually. Okay, it's been modified. He will do a git add of index.html and do a git commit of. So guys, whenever the developer one is cloning the whole project, even the master branch will also get created here. It means that even the master branch will be pulled from the git server to the developer two. That's the reason. Before do the commit, let me show it. See, if you do a Git branch, you could see that, see, you already got the master branch from the Git server only. Whenever you're doing a cloning, you'll get the complete project as well as you'll also get a default branch, master branch. So the whole master branch is getting copied from the Git server to the developer too, right? So now what happened, right? Now you have did a Git add of index.html, you have did it. Now you'll do a Git commit -m, specify something like what is it? First commit by developer to specify the file. Committed it. When you do a git log command, you could see that, see, a new commit ID has been generated by the developer tool, but this is there locally. You are not yet pushed to the main Git server. To push it, you will do a git of push origin master. So now, before you push it, you come over here into the Git server. You do a, let me clear the screen. You do a git log. You could see that only one commit ID which has been pushed by the developer one. There is no commit ID which has been pushed to the developer two. Now the developer two is pushing it here. See, git push origin master. See, he has pushed into the main Git server. Now Git admin, what he will do, he will come over here. Again, he will try to do a git log. See, now you could see the new commit has been come by the developer too. So, according to this diagram, as soon as any code check-in happen to the master branch, automatically this job 1, job 2, job 3 will get triggered, and finally a build will go to your deployed, will be the code will be deployed, or the package will be deployed to your end server or the live server or the production server. So we know that whenever there's any code checking happening in the master branch, it will trigger the deployment of that code into the main live server. But do you think that every time this developer one, developer two, they're doing a code commit to the master branch, every time this jobs will get called? And it is not necessary that whatever the code which they have written, right, it will perfectly work fine. There might be a lot of bugs, lot of flaws, right? So with the lot of flaws and lot of bugs, with that code, you cannot always push into the master branch. Sorry, with that, you cannot push into the live server. You should not do at all. That's a very bad practice. You cannot push any code which is not stable and which is having a lot of bugs. You cannot push in live server, guys. That is not at all possible. Industry, in the software industry, they'll never allow that to happen. They will say that, okay, have that code has undergone a lot of testing. Yes, it has undergone. And whether that code has gone to the UAT testing, yeah, it has gone. Whether the code has gone to the performance testing, stress testing, everything, yeah. Once it has been certified by the quality assurance team, then only they'll allow that code to get pushed into the production server. Unless and until, right, you will never push like that. Correct? So this is all which was happening into the master branch, guys. Correct? Good. Now the Git admin, he will say, no, I will not allow you to do so many code check-ins to the master branch. You are unnecessarily pushing a lot of codes which is not at all properly working in the live server. Why are you doing that? He will restrict, he will tell to the developer to not to do that. Now the question comes out, what to do? Now the Git admin will say that I will create a branch for you. Something is a staging branch. Or else you can even create a VLC branch, something. Now you do a code commit to the staging branch. Like that he will tell. Okay. Now what the Git admin will do that, he will go here, guys. And when he does Git branching, you know, so by default a branch has been created, master branch. Now he will try to create a new branch. Who's creating? Git branch is creating. Git server is creating. So we'll do a Git branch. This is the command, guys, to create a new branch. See, Git branch staging and say enter. Now you do a Git branch, enter. Can you see that a new branch by staging has come? Okay. Now the stuff is that, guys, whenever you are creating any new branch with the help of a Git branch, right, and specify the branch name, what happened by default, whatever the code commit which has been there in the master, right, the same code commit, even the newly created branch will get it actually. Now if you do a Git log of master, you could see that there are two commits have been done. First is from the developer one, and second is from developer two. Both these commits are there in the master branch. Clear? Now when you created a new branch, does the same code commits which are there in the master branch, it will be cloned to the staging branch also? Yes, it will be cloned. So you will say that git log staging. You see that the same code commit even you will find even in staging also. So what happened, right? For the first time, guys, whenever you're doing creating a new branch, whatever in the master branch it has not, all these things will be cloned to a newly created branch for the first time. Thereafter, after that, if you're doing any code commit to the staging branch separately, that will not be reflected to the master branch. Similarly, when you're doing code changes to the master branch, that will not be reflected to the staging. Only for the first time, the copy will happen from the master to the staging. Thereafter, in the future, when now you're doing a lot of code commits to the staging branch, it will never reflect the changes into the master branch. Or even vice versa. If you're doing code commit to the master branch, that will not be visible in the staging branch. Am I clear, sir? So now, guys, what we have been told that, okay, we have been told that, okay, let us have one more new branch by name staging branch. Now the staging branch is created. Good. What you have been telling that to the developer and developer 2 now that you do a code commit to the staging branch. Okay. So what the developer one will do, when he does a Git branch, he will see that there's a master branch only. I don't have any branch by name staging branch. What he will do, he need to fetch it from the Git server. He need to just run the command git fetch and say enter. See guys, he has fetched it. Can you see that there's a new branch by name staging has been fetched? So what he will do, he will try to run a git branch command. Still it is not showing. So what he will do, he will do a git branch -a. Now it will show the git staging branch, a new branch. So now what, for the first time, what I have to guys, he has to do a git checkout. Checkout means, so what the developer one is there. If you do a git branch, guys, he's already there in the master branch, and you could see that it is showing a star. Star means he's currently working inside the master branch now. Okay, always star signifies that in which branch he's working. Now what happened, right? A new branch he has seen now. Now he said that Rajesh, I want to get into this staging branch. So what to do? You do a git checkout of staging branch like this. So now you are checked out, means you are switched from the master branch to the staging branch. See, it shows right. It shows a message switch to the new branch staging. Now when you do a git branch, now you could see that guys. Now it will show you here. Okay, now you are sitting under the staging branch and working. Very good. Now, so while the developer will do that, okay, whenever you're doing any code commit, guys, do always in the staging branch. Don't do directly to the master branch. He has been told like that. Similarly, even the developer too also has been told like that. So now, guys, what he will do, he will do an ls. He could see that, oh, index.html file is there, or I am under staging, the same file is there, right? So now what the developer one will do, he will create one file, something like var1.html, version1.html, something. He will just type some line, welcome to var1 software release 1.1, something, and he will save that file. So it's created a new file, guys, under being under the branch directory, under being under the staging branch. He has created a new file. Who has created? The developer one has created. Fine, and he has just added only one line in this file, right? Welcome to the version 1 software release 1.1, something, some code he has written. Now what he will do is, if you do a git status, he will say that, oh, this is an untrack, so let me make it track. How to make it track? Git add version1.html. Okay, now he will do a, so again you do a git status. So you could see that actually that, oh, this version 1 is been in the, now it is in a track. You need to do a commit now actually. So to do the commit, you will do a git commit -m version1.html, something, some message committed by developer 1, and specify the file name var1.html file. Now you could see that he has committed. When you do a git log, you could see that already these two commits are there, developer 1, developer 2. Now you could see that a new commit has been created into the staging branch. So what here, according to the diagram, let me draw one more diagram so that you will understand. Sorry guys, today's class will go a little bit extra. It will go beyond 2 hours because that we have to complete, right? So this is the Git server. I'm just making you understand very clearly. That's the reason. And here you are having a developer 1. Same thing, you're having a developer 2 here. developer 2. So what he has did, guys, here, he was already having a local branch by name dash developer 1. He was working under the local branch. After that, what happened, right? In the Git server, what happened, right? The Git admin or the Git server, he created a new branch by name staging branch. That is a clone of the master branch, right? That's a clone or a copy of master branch only, initially, right? After that, what happened, right? You are so what you did, the Git developer one, he did, right? He did a Git of fetch. He did. As soon as he's doing a Git fetch, what happened that whatever the branches are there in the Git server, right? That will get fetched into the developer one's local machine. So that's the reason when he's trying to do a Git of branch-a, he could be able to see that there is a staging branch. So, and later what he did, right? He did a Git checkout of the staging branch. So he's sitting in the staging branch now. So he switched from the master branch staging branch. Now he's created a new file, something like where one.html file, and he's doing a Git add where dot where, and he's trying to do a Git commit -m some message, and then he's trying to give this file name. After that, what he's doing, that he has to do a push. Now where he has to do a push, if you do a git push origin master, that whatever this code checking, then it will go to the master branch. You don't want to do that. You want to push it to the staging branch. Now if you come over here in the developer one machine, now he is having a new commit, okay, which he has added a new file, right? That he need to push into the Git server. He will do a git push origin. He will not say master, guys, because if you do a master, if it does a master, according to the diagram, if you're doing any code commit to the master, automatically this job will get caught. No, I don't want to do that, guys, because a new staging branch has been created. I want to push it there. So what the developer been told that don't do here, do into the staging branch. So when you do a git push origin staging, you could see that whatever he has did, a new commit is there, right? This will be pushed into the staging branch of the Git server. Now what the Git server will do, admin will do that. He will try to first run a git log master. He will see that, okay, there are only 2 commits are there, or there are no more commits. But when he execute the git log to the staging, now he see that a new commit has come, man, which is done by the developer one. Oh, where one.html is committed by so this is a new commit has already come. Now you know that accordingly to the diagram, you know that whenever any new code commit happens to the staging, these jobs will get triggered. And finally, what happens is this job, what it'll do that it'll try to push whatever the code change in the staging, right? It'll try to push the package into this UAT servers. So as soon as the code has been pushed or been deployed to the UAT server, the UAT testers will try to verify that product is working fine or not. Once they certify it, then only they will say that, okay, now you can push that code into the master branch. From where what happened, right? The code will push to the live server. Like that, they'll get to know. Correct, guys? So now what happened, right? He has pushed it. So that's the reason you could see that if you do a git log of staging, you could see that new commit has come into it. Okay, fair enough. Good. So developer one has pushed it. Now already what happened? This job has been triggered. And finally, this has pushed into your UAT servers, pre-prod servers, we say. Fine. Now what happened? The developer two, now he will told that now you try to work on to the staging branch now. So what the developer two will do that he will try to run a git branch. No, there is no staging branch. Oh, first I need to fetch from the git server. He will try to do a git fetch. See, a new branch has come. Now he will try to do a git branch -a. Oh, he'll get to know, okay, the staging branch is there. First, let me do a checkout of the staging branch. He will check out. Now he will do a git log command. See, if you execute a git branch, he will get to know that, oh, I am sitting under the staging branch. Okay, fine. Now if we do a git log of staging, guys, this is everything developer 2 is doing in his local machine. When he's doing a git log of staging, oh, he will get to know, okay, these commits are already there. Oh, there's a new commit which has been done by the developer one. Oh, there's a file by name where one.html which is being committed by the developer. Oh, okay. The developer two will get to know, okay, there's a new file with something like where.html which is actually created by the developer one. That's what he has committed into the staging branch. Oh, developer two will get to know. Okay, fine, man. Okay, what the developer two will do? Okay, now when you do an LS, he could see that he got this file. he got this file also, var.html file. Oh, he will say that, okay, now let me work on this file now. So he will open this file. Oh, already this one line is there. Oh, let me add one more line. Welcome to Air 1 software release 1.2 something, and he will save this file. Now what he will do, guys, he will do a git add of var1.html and do a git commit -m. What's the message? var1.html committed by developer2 and specify the file name. He has committed it. Now he need to push the code change. See, when you do a git log of staging, you are doing the staging. See, a new commit has been done by the developer2 onto the same file. This was a commit was done by the developer on file, and this was the first two commits which are done by developer and developer2. But now a new commit has been created, because once you do a git commit, right, a new commit is generated by the developer2. Now this code, whatever it is there, guys, which has been committed, you need to push into your staging branch of your Git server, into a staging branch of your Git server. Here you are having a staging branch, right? You know that very well, that you are having a master branch as well as you have a staging branch here in your. Now what the developer2 will say that, oh, I need to do a code commit, whatever I am having here, right? I need to push into the staging branch. Already the developer one has pushed this var.html into the staging only. It's already pushed. Once it is pushed, then only, right, the developer 2 has able to see this file and he can edit that file, right? Once he did the changes in the file, now he want to push the same changes into the staging branch now. Now, if you go to the Git server, when you do a git log of staging, see that, sir, the last commit is done by the developer one. Okay, it means that developer two has not been pushed yet. Now what happened? The developer two will come here. He'll do a git push of origin staging. He'll do, and he'll push it. See, now once you push it, now you could see that actually. See, now what happened, right? I could have kept in a watch actually like this, or else let me run it. So now a new commit has been pushed by the developer two into the staging branch. Now you know that, okay, Rajesh, whenever there's a push into the staging branch, again the job one, job two, job three, which is in green color, right? This has to be triggered, and finally the build will go to the UAT server. And UAT engineers or UAT testers has to verify that code. Is it clear, sir, guys? Till here, are you okay? Sir, are you okay?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir. So far, it is blind for me, but now it is clear what is wherever
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
going.
I'm doing same thing multiple times so that you are trying to understand what I'm trying to do.
Exactly, sir. It is
Because
right
you
way.
want to, yeah, you have to get clarified everything whatever I'm doing, because both the developer and developer two, they are doing now coaching into the staging branch now. This is exactly happen in industry. Clear? Now the challenge comes actually. Okay, developer two nicely, developer one, developer two, they are doing nicely this code changes to the staging branch. Now what happened, right, guys? Now what has been told that, okay, now what happened? The developer one has committed to staging, fine. The job has triggered everything. Now the developer two also has did a code check in staging. Now again the trigger has happened, so that all this staging and the Ansible server pushing everything to the UAT server. Everything has happened fine, good. Now the UAT engineers or UAT testers, they are certified saying that, okay, fine, man. Now the product is actually working fine. Now there is no flaws. Whatever we did a testing, everything in test cases has passed it. The sanity test has passed. The not unit, the manual testing has passed. Our regression test has passed. Every test suite, whatever they want to do, is passed. Now they will say that, yeah, now we need that the same code we need into the live server. So what the Git admin will do that actually, he will try to merge the staging code into the master branch. So once he merge it, guys, then what happened? Automatically the job will get called, and this will trigger to this jobs, and finally this job will push the whatever the code into the staging the right, that will get compiled, build everything, and that package will be pushed into this edge server. So this now the Git admin will get his work now. Now the Git admin star is that he will start merging the code from the staging to the master branch. Now if you go to the server, now if you do a Git branch, you could say there are two branches are there. When you do a Git log of master, master doesn't have all those changes what is done by the developer one, developer two. But when you do a Git log of staging, see, Stager has, apart from these two commits, Stager has many more commits are there. Okay, because the developer and developer two, they were committing the changes to the staging only. Okay, fine. Now you will say that Rajesh, everything is working fine, Rajesh. Now I want to do a code commit, sorry, code merge, right? From the staging to the master branch. Now the Git admin jobs will start now. Okay. So now what the Git admin will say that okay, let me merge this staging to the master branch. Okay. To merge it, guys, what he has to do, right? Git server admin, what he has to do that to merge the code from staging to the master branch. What the Git developer will do, what the Git admin will do, he will he will sit in master branch and then execute the command git merge staging to the master branch. He will run this command. So what the Git admin will do, he will go to his server. Okay. So let me check where I'm sitting now. If you do a Git branch, he's already sitting in the master branch. Oh, I need not to again check out or check in. Oh, he's already there in the master branch. Now I need to run this command git merge staging and master branch. So what he will do that he will do a git merge staging to the master branch. So guys, so the Git admin, he's doing everything merge here directly within this Git server is doing here, right? Now when he does this, guys, it will throw a fatal error. See, this operation must be run in a working tree. It means that when the Git admin, when he's trying to do a git merge, when he's trying to do a git merge of staging to the master branch, it will throw a fatal error. Why? Because right, you cannot do a merge business everything in directly into this Git server. You cannot do that. Why? Because that there are so many things are there which is happening in the. You cannot directly do the merging. Merging is it will all will be disabled directly into this working tree. You cannot do directly to this server. Sitting within the Git server, you cannot do this merging and all. Then what is the solution? Then I need to merge the code, no? From the staging branch. What I can do? Okay, what happened, right? In the industry, what happened? The Git admin or the DevOps engineer, he'll be given a local laptop to him, right? He'll be given a laptop to him, right? Usually in the company, they'll give the laptop to him, right? But we've been told that you do one thing, man. You do a clone of this whole directory, the whole branch, the whole stuff, whatever it is there right here. You try to clone everything from here. You try to do a clone. You try to do a clone of this code, everything here to your local laptop. So what happened, right? What the Git admin will told that you do one thing, man. You create your own directory, something like operation directory in your local laptop. He's saying, then do a CD to the operation directory, and do a Git clone of the whole project to the IP address of your Git server and :/project like that. So like that, he will clone the whole project. In that you are copying the whole thing. Now, after copying it, you know that whatever the master branch, staging branch, everything you got it here locally within your machine actually. Now you do a git checkout of master. You're in master branch. Okay, I'll write it here. Now you do a git merge of the staging to the master. Okay. Once you do a master, it means that you are merging here locally. So here locally merging, it will allow because you are not in the. This is not your Git server. Whereas here, this is the Git server, guys. In the Git server, sitting under the slash project directory, please try to understand, sitting in the slash project directory, you are trying to do a Git merge of staging master, which will not be allowed directly into the server. It will throw a fatal error. What you're doing as a workaround, you're copying this whole project directory here. When you're copying the whole project directory, you're getting even the master and staging branch also are getting. Here in the locally, within the Git admin's local laptop, you are trying to do a merge of it. It'll allow. Okay, now the merging happened now. Now what happened, guys? Whatever you are having the merge, right? So you have merged the staging to the master branch. Now the master branch also has the same code. What is the staging branch there? Now after once you're doing right, now what you will do? You will try to push, do a git push origin to the master. Now you do a git push to origin master. What you're doing when you're doing a git push, whatever you're having the master branch here, right? That will be pushed here into the master branch. Clear? Locally you're doing it. Or else you might say, Rajesh, I don't have, okay, I have a local laptop, everything fine, but I don't want to do it here only, man. Can I do it in even in a Git server only? Yes, sir, you can do it. Here, what you can do that you can create somewhere some operation directory. Here only you can create within the Git server only. Somewhere you can create something like a mkdir. Same thing, whatever you did it here, same thing. Within the Git server, you can create your own directory, mkdir operation directory or slash operation directory. Once you do it, cd to the slash operation directory. Same thing, git clone. You're cloning the whole stuff from the Git server, Git IP address, right? Git server's IP address. Whole project directory you're cloning, guys, actually. Once you're cloning, now you do a Git checkout. Once you're doing, so you see that you got a project directory. When you do an ls, you saw the project directory. You do a cd to the project directory. You will see all the files. Now first you do a Git checkout of master and then do a Git merge of staging to the master and now do a Git push origin master. Like that, you do it locally within the slash operation directory. You do it actually. Once you're doing whatever the merge it is up, whatever you did the merge, right? That will be pushed into this master branch. So you know that once the master branch, the code has come, automatically this job will get triggered. So guys, let us do now this operation things. What I did, right? So I can do it in local branch, sorry, local laptop, but I'm not doing it here in the Git server only, guys. Let me do one thing. You could see that if you execute pwd, I'm in the slash project directory. Slash project directory, fine. I'll come out here. So when I do a pwd, you could see that I'm doing a slash root. Okay, mkdir. Let me create here operation directory. Okay, do a cd to the operation directory. Right now we do a git clone of root at the rate. Give the IP address of your Git servers, private IP. That IP slash project. Okay. You're cloning it, but while cloning it, actually, it is asking for the root password. Why? Because that you have not, because you are doing a copy within itself. Earlier, what happened when you do a Git clone off from the Git server, it was not asking any password because that you are already enabled the password authentication. How you did it? With the help of a RSA key, you place this RSA key, pub.p and authorize keys, right? And also you did the same thing from the Git developer tools, you place it, right? That's what whenever doing a clone, it never asks you for the password. Correct. But whereas here, I'm doing a clone of the same project in the same server itself. Within the same server only you're doing. Oh, when you're doing a Git clone, obviously it will ask for the root password because within you, within yourself, you have not did it. Now, if you say that, okay, Rajesh, fine, you did it this one. So let me give the for the first time, let me give the password. I'll give the password as Red Hat. Enter. You have cloned it actually. So Rajesh, can I? When you're doing a cloning, it should not ask me for the password. What to do that? Okay, do one thing, guys. Go to the .sh directory, ls, enter. What is there? ID_RSA. This is the ID_RSA.pub of the Git server. Copy it. So you will say that copy the same key, man. Same thing into the authorized key. Copy this one. Come out the down. See, copy this like this. Save this file. Okay, fine. Oh, it means that within myself, I'm doing my public and copying it. Ah, yes. Now it will not ask for the password at all. Next time when you're doing a git clone, when you're doing a git push, when you're doing a git fetch, nothing will be asked now. Earlier it used to ask, now it will not ask. Okay, fine. So let me do one thing, Rajesh. Let me go to the operation directory again. So I already did a git clone root at the rate. It'll ask me for the password. I get the password. Everything is cloned now. Okay, ls. So when you do a project directory, it has got. So when you do ls, you got a project directory. Get inside a project directory. Now you could see all the file which is there, right? So guys, now what happened, right? You have cloned it actually, but when you do a git branch, it is still showing the master branch. It means that you only clone the master branch. But already in this server, you know that there is a staging branch also is there. It's not only this master branch, staging branch is also there. What you have to do here, sit here, you have to do a git fetch also, right? Git fetch. See guys, where you are there, see. Okay, I'll do one thing guys. I have created one more machine actually. I will not do it here. I will be under the cd slash project directory. Okay, here I'm sitting. Whereas in this other server, here I will go to this operation directory. Here I did cd to the project directory. Here when I did, if you execute pwd, you will understand that, okay, you are under the operation directory. So when I do a git branch, you could see that there's only one branch is there. Okay, let me do thing. Let me fetch it. See, it has fetched it actually. So when I do a git branch -a, now you could see that the staging branch has come. Okay, man. When I do a git checkout of staging, it has switched to staging branch. I'll do an ls. Oh, here I got all those files, man. Whatever is there. Okay. When you do a git log of staging, oh, you could see that, okay, whatever the var1.html comment by the developer one, var.html comment by the developer, yeah, everything is in the staging branch. So what you're doing guys here, according to this diagram, you are doing locally here within the git server only. Everything you did it here locally. Okay, fine. Rajesh, now I understood. So now what you're doing that, I need to merge the code from the staging to the master branch. So what I've done that again, I will do a pwd. You are under operation directory. You'll do a git log of. If you do a git branch, you could see that master and staging branch is there. This code has to be pushed to the master branch. Locally, you're doing it, right? So first, let me do a git checkout to the master branch. Okay. Now do a git branch. Oh, now you're into the master branch. If I execute a git log, oh, you are doing a git log of master branch. So git log of master branch. So master branch doesn't have any many check-ins, only two check-ins which were very older check-ins were there already. Now what is the task is that whatever it is there in your staging, it has to be merged into the master branch. Now guys, you're being sitting under the master branch and you're doing everything as a locally under the operation directory. Now you will do a git merge of staging to the master. See, here it will allow. See, here it will allow. It will allow. Now you could see that if you do a git log of master, now you could see that guys, master also has got this code commits now. But everything here, whatever you did, right, everything you're doing locally. Still in the main slash project directory, you still don't have that. If I do a watch of git log of master, you could see that only two commits are there, guys. But here what happened, right? You have created everything locally within the operations you did it, right? So I did it git merge of staging to master. Now what you will do that, Rajesh, now whatever you have did locally here, fine, you have merged it. Now you push this merger into this slash project directory to this master branch. Okay. Now he will come here. He will do a git push origin master. See, he has now pushed into the master branch. Now if you come over here, see, now what happened, right? See, these two commits have now come into the master branch. As soon as now the new commit has come to master branch, you know, according to diagram, when a new commit comes to master branch, automatically the jobs will get triggered, and finally the build will be deployed into this production servers. Okay, fine. Rajesh, I got it. Now you will say. Okay. Okay, fine. So what happened, guys? This is what the Git one, the developer one and developer two, whatever they did a code commit to this file, right? That has been finally pushed into the Git server. So if you do a Git log of master, you could see that both these files committed has been there into the main master branch. Once there's a master branch, then the jobs has been triggered. Means that all these days, whatever you tested into the staging branch, now finally the same code you have pushed into master branch, and the same code has been built and it is deployed into the production server. It means that whatever the stable code which was there, right, in the staging branch, the same code, stable code, you have pushed into the main production server now. Am I clear, sir? Till now here, till here. I need another 20 minutes more, guys, to complete this session. I know it has been too long, but please sit for another 20 minutes to 25 minutes. I'll finish it everything so that we will be finishing this Git branching. Sir, till here, are you clear? I know some of you have some kind of a confusion what is going on because I'm doing so many things, right? Parallelly, you might get in confusion, but when you watch the video and once you practice you by your own, you'll understand the whole essence of what I'm doing. This is how the, so you know that it is very clear that Rajesh, in the main Git server under the slash project, you cannot do the merge operation that we have seen because it will throw a factor error, because you cannot do a direct merge of one from one branch to other branch. You cannot do directly sitting under the project tree in the Git server. You cannot do it because the Git server will not allow to do that operation at all. Okay, that's the reason you have copied, you have cloned the whole project here into some other location, and here you're doing a merge, and that merge you're pushing into the main project directory. That is possible. That is fine. This is how you will do it actually. This is how the Git admin will do. Either you can do it to the same Git server, or you can have your local laptop, or else one more server you can keep it. In that server you can do it, and finally you can push to the server. You can do it any way you want, but you cannot do a direct merge of from staging to the master into your Git server under the slash project. You cannot do that because the Git server will not allow to you to do that operation at all. Even though you are a Git server admin, it will not allow. Am I clear on this, sir? Till here, I need your confirmation, guys. Yes, watch the video again. You will get to know everything.
Yes, sir, it's clear. It's clear. No
No
more
doubts, right?
doubts.
Yeah, good. Good that it's somewhat it is getting clear, because some people, if you have the doubts, right, you go through the video, you'll understand. Okay. Now, okay, guys. Now all this fine. Now there is some more. We'll make little more complexity, sir. The next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, which I'm asking, no, I want to show you some more little bit more complicated now. We'll go ahead one more step beyond now. Okay, fine. Now, okay, Rajesh, fine, good. So the staging branch, I understood. There are multiple developers are there, which you are allowing them to always do a code checking into the master staging branch. Now keep the staging branches also, keep lot of code committees happening, keep to the staging branch. And lot of time the code push is happening to your UAT server also. Now, what the Git admin or the Git DevOps will see that he will also see that there are n number of developers are there. Developer one, developer three. Developer one is doing a 10 times he's doing a code commit to the staging. 10 times the job will get triggered. Okay. Developer two is doing 50 times to the staging branch. 50 times the job will get triggered, and finally that build will be deployed to the UAT server. And the developer three is doing some 100 times to the staging branch. 100 times this the whole CI/CD pipeline is getting called, and finally the 100 times the code check-in happens into the into the UAT server. Now he's seeing that out of so many number of times where the developer one has did 10 times, the developer two has did for 50 times, and the developer three has did for 100 times. So totally around 10 plus 50 plus 100, 160 times the code commit has happened to the staging branch. And out of 160 times, only the 10 times only the build has properly went into the UAT server. Out of 160, 10 times has gone properly, and 150 remaining 150, all those builds were got failed. It means that those were not proper code. Now the Git admin or the administrator will say that why again he's telling to a developer three. Why man you're doing so much commit to the staging branch now? All these days you are doing code commit to the master branch. I got fed up because even the unstable codes were pushed into the live server, which I don't need it. Now the same practice you are doing even to the staging branch also. Why you're doing that? Why you're triggering? Why so many number of times the build has been going to the UAT servers? I don't want that also. I need hardly 1 or 2 times so that you can push a proper working code into the staging. So what the DevOps engineer or the Git admin will say that you stop doing this nonsense activity. Don't do so much commits to the staging branch. Earlier you used to do it for the master branch. Now you have started doing the staging branch. Please stop it. Always try to push only one stable. So what he'll be telling to the developer was that instead of you doing a 10 commits into the staging branch for the whole day, suppose you're working for 8 or 9 hours and you are doing a 10 times commit of the staging, you do one thing, man. You don't do it. You always commit only one time into the staging branch. Okay. Now the same Git admin will tell to the developer too. You are doing 50 times the code commit to the staging branch. Don't do 50 times. You do only one time. Before you are leaving for the day, you just do only one commit to the staging branch so that only one job will get triggered. Okay. He will tell the same thing to the developer 3. You don't do 100 times to the staging branch, man. Don't do the code changes or code commit to the 100 branch to the staging branch. You do only one time at end of the day before you're leaving. Okay. So it means that he's restricting the number of commits happening even to the staging branch also. So what these developers will do now? Okay, they have been told by the Git admin that don't do that. What the developers will do that? Developers will say that okay, man, I'll do one thing. Let me create my own local branch within myself. So the developer one will create his own local branch within him. The developer 2 will create his own local branch within the developer 2 machine, and the developer 3 is developer. He will create his own local branch within him, and they can do n number of commits in the local branch only. Unless and until they're satisfied, they can keep committing their changes into the local within that machine only. And once they're satisfied, oh, now I have written an ample number of code. Oh, now I have made it. I have made the code working fine. Then only you try to push that code into the staging branch. So guys, this is one use case you have to say. If whenever they ask an interview, you have to say the same way. Why they are creating a local branch within the developers? Because that they can do n number of commits. They want to verify in their local machine only. Instead of always pushing to a staging machine, stager, which is there in a Git server, why you are doing so many code push into staging branch? You do within locally, no? N number of times in your own local branch only. Okay. So let me try one more diagram to make you understand in a better way. Now the Git server is there. So he is having 2 branches. You know very well that one is a master branch and now other is a staging branch. Okay, good. So now you are having here developer one machine. Developer one machine also had he had already fetched the code from the Git by running a Git fetch. He also got the master branch and the staging branch. Fine. And he was sitting in the staging branch, and all this is he was working. And the same staging branch, whatever is there now, he was pushing into this Git server staging branch. He was pushing it. All these days he was doing. Same thing, developer one or two also doing the same stuff actually. Developer 2 also been told the same thing. He'll also try to do a fetch from existing Git server. He will also get the 2 branches now. One is a master branch and other is a staging branch. And the developer 2 also was all this days he was working in the staging branch, and he was also doing a code push everything from the staging branch to the staging branch of the Git server. So as soon as you do a code push or the code commit to staging branch in the Git server, you know that these jobs will get triggered automatically. These green color jobs will get triggered automatically. And if they're doing 100 times, 200 times, 100 times, 200 times, these jobs will get called. That's the reason what happened that DevOps engineer or the Git admin has stopped even you to commit to the staging branch also. He will say that you don't do any commit to staging branch command. So what he has been told that you do one thing, guys, you create your own local branch within your system. So what the Git developer will do that he will just say git branch day 1. He will create like this. As soon as you do a git branch day 1, he will get one more. He will get one more branch by name day 1 within him local, and this day 1 will be a clone of this existing staging or the master branch, whatever. Okay, It will be clone actually. And from here you start working. You do n number of commits, whatever is there within your local DevOps one branch only. You are doing 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. It's immaterial for me, man. You do a number of commits. Now, once you feel that, oh, okay, now you are satisfied doing everything, whatever you want to achieve for that particular day, right? Now, once you did it, what the developer one will do, he will try to do a merge of this dev1 branch to the staging branch. So whatever he's having a local staging branch, right? He will try to do a merge of this, the dev one branch to the staging branch. Once he does a merge, after doing a merge, what he will be told that now you try to do a git push of origin to the staging. Now you try to push this. Now he'll push this. What are the code changes there? Now he'll try to push into the staging branch. So guys, he has to do a local branch. He has to create a local branch, do a number of commits, whatever he want to do. Now he need to finally satisfy. He has got the satisfactory code. Now he has to do a merge of this dev one to the staging branch, which is having locally within the developer one, and that he is pushing into the Git server later. Same thing, guys. What the developer two have been told that now you create your own branch, named dev2, git checkout on dev2. Now you do as number of commits, you create a number of files, you do lot of commits, you do whatever you want. Finally, what happened, right? Once you feel like, okay, now I have achieved whatever I'm going to achieve, now what you have to do that, you have to do a git merge of the dev2 branch into the staging branch, into his local staging branch, whatever he's having, that one. And finally, he will try to do a git push of the staging origin staging like this. Once he does it, actually, now what happened, right? This, whatever he has did, it will be pushed into the staging branch. Now you know that once you're pushing to the staging branch, you know that this job will get triggered. This green color job will get triggered. And funny what happened, right? You will get a build where the UAT engineers or the performance engineer will verify it. Ah, okay, now I get it. It means that all these days when they were doing direct code check into the staging branch, n number of times it was getting called. Now what happened? You see that the life has been easy now. Developer one, at the end of the day, only one time he's pushing the code to the staging branch. Even the developer two, he's doing only one time to the staging branch. Now the number of code check-ins into the staging branch has been reduced now from 100 or 160 times. Now it has been just pushed into only one times. 1 minute, guys. Actually, 1 second. I'm getting call. Sir, did you understand what I'm trying to tell, guys? So what happened, guys? Oh, super, man. This is what I needed. This is what is happening in industry. The developer will have a local branch. He'll be doing n number of commits within local branch. Finally, he'll push that changes at the end of the day to the staging branch. Beautiful. Now I got it, the whole story. So Gopal sir and Sandesh, did you got the crux now? What I'm trying to tell?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It is,
So this is very beautiful, interesting, right?
yes, yes, sir. It is very interesting, sir. It is clear, and somehow we are blind in that, so we clear out.
Yeah, earlier you were blind. As we
Yes,
progress,
yes,
we
yes.
cleared it off. Now, when you
Yes.
watch the previous video, you'll understand everything. Oh, whatever I told, everything perfectly I've understood now.
Okay.
Okay, great. Now coming back
Thank you.
here. Yeah, coming back here. Now what happened? This is what I need, man. Now, okay. Now developer one will try to create a branch now. Okay, super. See, he'll try to do a Git branch. See, guys, I mean, okay. Developer one is having two branches. Okay, fine. Now what you will do? Git branch to the dev one. Same thing. Whatever I'm showing the diagram, same thing I'm doing, guys. So that you will not get any confusion. Now when you do a Git branch, see, you got the day one branch. Now do a Git checkout checkout of day one branch. Beautiful. Now you do a git log of day one branch. Whatever which was there, the staging branch that got cloned into the day one branch. See, that was cloned. That's what it is. You are getting the whole clone of the code, what are there in the staging branch to the local dev branch. Now, thereafter, whatever doing a code checking to dev branch, that not reflect the staging branch, right? Same thing, whatever I explained into the earlier into this Git server, right? When I created a new branch by the staging branch, right? Initially, first time it got the clone of the master branch. Thereafter, whatever you're doing changes to this separate branches, it will not reflect in other branch at all, right? That whenever you want to make it reflect, right, you need to merge the code. That's what you needed, right? So now what you did, guys, you created a day one branch. Okay, fine, Rajesh, fine. Now where you are there in your so when I do a Git branch, beautiful man, I'm into the DevOps branch, day one branch. Now when you do an ls, oh, you got all the files, man. Okay, fine. Now we'll do what you will do that. Okay, what the developer will do now, I don't want to do this work into this file, I want to create a new file now. Okay, he will create VLC something because you are working on a VLC project, one dot html. He's creating a new file now. Okay, welcome to VLC 1.0 1. Welcome to the VLC 1.html one one software version 1.1 something. We will do a save the file. We will run a git status, okay, untracked file. To make it track, you have to run the git add VLC 1.html file, fine, and you will do a git commit -m VLC 1.html file committed by the developer one. Right, guys, developer one, and specify the file name. What is the file name? VLC. Now once you committed, so you could see that actually, guys, you when you do a git log of your, if you do a git branch, you could see that you're having branches. When you do a git branch, sorry, git log of day one, so you want to see the all the commits what been day one. Now you could see that a new commit which has been done by the developer day one under the day one branch, right? You have did a new commit, right? So you create a file VLC1.html and you have committed that and you got a new commit ID. Fine. So now what happened? What the developer one will do? Oh, he will see that Rajesh, I have created this file, I've committed, but still there are a lot of flaws are in the code. Oh, let me rework the on the same file. He'll be keep working. He'll be doing n number of commits. Finally, he'll get a lot of commits within his own slash day one branch only. He will get the commits actually. He'll be doing 10 commits, 20 commits in a day. He will be doing a lot of commits actually. Finally, he will say that okay, Rajesh, now I got the stable code, man. I got the stable code now, right? So what he will do that actually, let me push the same dev one branch instead of doing. I just told about the merge and all, guys. So don't do this merge actually now. Okay, I will not do this merging and all. You can do this way also, whatever I said. Okay, you can do this way also, no problem. You can do this way also. So now what you will do that actually, do one thing. So what he will do now, guys, now what this fellow will do, developer will do, now he will be pushing the whole dev one branch itself to the master, to the git server. So in the git server, if you go to the git server, if you run a git branch, you could see that you are having only two branches. One is the master and the staging. Now you see that what the developer one will do, that he will try to push the whole branch only. How to do that? He'll just say git. He has already, when you do a git log, you know that he has got a new commit, right? This new commit is there. Now we'll try to do a git push of origin master. We'll try to push the whole branch only. Oh, okay. Git push origin, sorry, git push origin to the day one actually. Sorry, this you have to do. I'm sorry. Now when you push it, now you could see that, sorry, not this one, guys, this one you have to do it. Now what happened that in the git server, when you do a git branch, Now you got a separate branch by name day one, copy it from the Git one, developer one to the Git server. So when he do a when you do a Git push of origin to the day one, now what happened? The whole day one directory, the whole day one like branch, right? It has been copied to here actually. So day one has come here actually. Okay, fine. Now what happened? Now the work again will come to the work will come to the Git admin actually. The Git admin what he has to do that he has to do whatever the day one is there that he has to merge to the staging, and he need to run the staging job. So it means that he has to merge to the staging so that this staging job will run now, right? And now what he will do, guys? So he cannot do directly the merge of the staging to the day one to the staging branch because you are in the Git server. See, if I do a Git merge A1 to the staging branch, this operation is fatal. You cannot work in it. That's the reason what happened, guys. You have a local copy. Already you created the operation directory, right? You have a local copy, right? If you do a Git branch, see here, you're already having two branches now. So what happened, right? This code has been pushed by the developer one into this into the Git server. Now what happened that here, what you have to do that you have to first do a Git fetch. Git fetch. You are fetching the whole branches what is there in the Git server. Now when you do a Git branch -a, now you could say, oh, okay, he understood. Oh, there is one more new branch has been created now. Oh, day one. So now he will do a Git checkout of day one. Okay. Now you do a Git branch. See, now he's into day one. What he will do that is a local person, the local operation directory where you are trying to do, right? He will do a Git log of day one. Okay. Oh, this commit is already there, man. Oh, this VLC 1.html file, it has been committed by the developer one. But now here in the local, he is also having the staging also, right? When he do a Git log of staging, the stager has that commit. See, this stager doesn't have this VLC 1.html committed. Right? See, can you see here? It's not doesn't have. Oh, now he has been told that you do a merge up from the day wing to the day one to the staging branch. Okay. So now you're already there in the staging branch. When you do a Git branch, you could say it's already there in the dev branch. Now he will do a checkout to the staging branch. First, you need to do a checkout from your day one to the staging branch. Now you do a Git branch. Now you're in the staging branch. Now you do a Git merge of the staging of the day one to the staging branch. So same thing, guys. Whatever here, as per the diagram, right? You're doing everything locally here. Now earlier you used to do merge from the staging to the master branch. Now you got one more branch by name day one branch. That day one branch you are merging to the staging branch. You're doing everything locally here again, right? Instead of you've been doing in the local laptop, you're doing in the same Git server and in other some other directory, like something like operation directory. So now coming over here, what is that? You are trying to do a merge actually. When you're trying to do a merge, it is showing you that there's a merge. It's saying that merge branch of day one into staging fine. By default, this is a message it is showing, guys. So you'll say that, okay, Raj, I don't want to do any changes. Let the same message might be, then you will save that file. So guys, it has been merged now. So now when you do a Git branch, you are under the staging. When you do a Git log of staging, now you could see that there's a new merge has come. So that merge is not but the day one to the staging branch. It is been merged now. Now what happened, right? You have did locally everything into your staging branch. Now that staging branch, you need to push into the Git server staging branch. So if you go to the Git server here, now if you do a Git log of staging, you don't have that merged, right? Here you are having, you could see that merge branch of day one. Here you are having locally, but in the main Git servers staging, you don't have. Now you have to sit here and push, man. How to do that? You know very well. Git push origin staging. Now you are pushing into the main server. Now here you could see that if he is running again, Git log of staging. See guys, oh now he got the merge branch. See, Okay, now he got the management. Now you know that there is a code push has been happened to staging branch. You know that these jobs are getting called now, and these jobs will go to what are the code is in the staging, right? That will be compiled, that will be created a packet, and finally it will be pushed into your UAT server, and finally UAT engineers will certify saying that whether the product is working fine or not, or whether the software is working fine or not. So instead of doing 10 number of 100 times of commits, now only one time you are doing a commit. Is it clear, guys? Now what happened, right? The staging branch has called now. Fine. So this is done by the developer one. Okay. Now there's a chance of developer two also, right? So developer two, what he will do? He will do a git branch. Oh, there is something like a staging branch. Is there master branch? Is there? Fine. So he has been told to create his own branch. So he will create a git checkout or sorry git branch of dev2. Okay. Fine. So he will run a git branch. Okay. He will do a git checkout onto the dev2 branch. Good. Okay. Now if you do an ls, nothing is there. Okay, these files are there. He will create a file by name vlc2.html. Welcome to vlc2 software version 2.0. I know, guys, some sound is coming, some crackle sound, but you try to bear with that actually because there is a nearby temple at my home where they're doing some function. So, welcome to the VLC software version 2.0 has been there. Now, what happened, right? You will save this file. So, guys, you are in the developer one, developer two, and you are under the which branch? You are under the dev2 branch. So, I created this VLC 2.0. Now, you do a git add of this VLC 2.html file. Now you do a git commit -m of VLC 2.html committed by developer to specify the file name. What is that file name? VLC 2.html file. Now you say that Rajesh, I did everything locally within the dev2 branch. You do a number of commits. The same developer too, he'll be keep doing changes to these files, or else even to these files, or into this file. Any file he can do any changes because in the project there is no only one file, right? There'll be hundreds of files. They'll be keep doing lot of changes to sorry, lot of changes to the say different files, right? So you do a number of commits to the dev2 branch actually. Finally, you try to push this dev2 to this master Git server. Sorry, not master Git server. You try to push it actually. So now what he will do, guys, he will developer two. He has did a lot of code changes. Finally, he says, Rajesh, now I am satisfied. Now I need to push this whole dev2 into the Git server. So what he will do, he will do a Git push origin dev2 like this. He will do it. So as soon as you do it, what happened, right? What happened, right here? Git push origin dev2. You know very well that he will try to do a git push of origin dev2. So now what happened, right? This dev2, the whole branch will be copied or will be written into this main Git server. In here, he'll push it. Got it, guys. Now you go to the Git server, do a Git branch. See, he got a new branch now, dev2. Super. Okay. Now you've been told that again the same story that whatever the dev2 is there, that you try to merge into the staging branch. But being under the Git server, you cannot do that actually. So what you'll do here, you will have anyhow you have a local copy and you have created a local directory by name operation. Let me do it here, like that you will say. So what this fellow will do, okay, fine. He will do a Git branch. He will first see that okay, there are any code changes are there. There are any new branches there is not there. He will first do a Git fetch actually. Fetch it, and then you do a Git branch -a. Oh, now you say that okay, dev2 is a branch which I got it. Let me do a Git checkout of dev2 branch. Beautiful. Now you do a Git branch. Now you know that you are under the dev2. Now when you do it, actually, guys, when you do an ls, you could see that vlc2.html also has got it because you did a Git fetch everything. Here all the files have been fetched actually. Okay, beautiful. Now what you will say that Rajesh, let me do a merge of this dev2 under the staging 2 actually. Okay, to do that, actually, first you do a git checkout of from the dev to the staging branch. You do the git checkout. Now you do a git merge of the dev to the staging branch. See, here also it will show the same thing, merge branching to into staging, fine. And you will not write any message, you will keep this message as it is, you will just save the tag. Now we're going to do a git log, okay, of staging. Now you could see that the staging branch has got this new branch, new merge branch. Okay. Now it means that whatever you did it, everything you got it locally here under the operational tree. See, if you see this message, git branch dev2 into staging. But if you go to the git server and if you do a git log of staging, you see that commit. See, git branch of dev1 is there, but the git branch merge branch of dev2 is not there. Here the merge branch of dev1 is there. Oh, I need to do that. So now what you have to do here, guys, you need to push the code change. So if you do a pwd under operational tree, if you do a git branch, okay, you are under the staging branch now. Now you'll do a git push of origin staging. Enter. You have pushed it, guys. Now go back to the main server and you do a git log of staging. Now you see that a new merge code commit has come here. See, merge branch dev2 into the staging. Now, as soon as you see the code changes has been pushed into the staging branch, now the staging branch, these jobs will get triggered actually. The same stuff, all these guys, developer one, developer two, developer three, they are doing hundreds of commits. Now only one commit they are doing at the end of the day. Even the developer two is doing only one commit at the end of the day to the staging branch. So you can understand that the Git admin will not keep quiet simply. He will be having a lot of work like that. Is it clear, guys? Still here?
Yes, sir.
Now what happened, right? Yeah, I do understand that it's a lengthy hour, lengthy class has happened. So I need to cover few more things, but I feel like I mean it'll be too much actually if I cover, right? So what I will do, guys, I will stop it now. I will continue the same session tomorrow. From here onwards, I will continue tomorrow. So what we will be doing that we will be doing few more things. That's all. Just another 10-15 minutes. I'll be explaining about the branching. Okay, tomorrow session actually. So tomorrow session we will be covering what we will be covering, guys. We will be continuing with the Git branch. Few more things, 10 minutes more. That's all. Continue with the Git branch, and then we will go with the Git reset, Git patch, Git tag, tags like this. These are the concepts which we will be covering in tomorrow session. Am I clear on this, sir? So what I would request all of you that you practice till here what I did. Now you see that actually, guys, you have did the code changes to the see you have good did the code changes to the staging branch according to the diagram. Staging branch developer and developer two has did the code fixes, and finally the Git server has merged the dev1 branch to staging branch so that this job has got triggered. And again he has merged the dev2 branch to the staging branch. Again the job has been triggered. Now what happened once the job has been triggered? What happened? The UAT engineers or the testing engineers, they have certified saying that it is working fine. Now again you need to do a merge of the staging to the master branch so that this jobs will get triggered, and finally that build will go to the stage to your live server or the production server, right? See, like this. So you could see that at the whole day, n number of times the developers will be doing the DevOps team will be doing a lot of time code, like merge he will be doing, and also like he will be doing a committing, and finally he has to maintain a lot of branches like that. So many things he'll be doing actually. And think about that, we are only working with only one or two files, with one or two or branches. In a real-time industry, you could see that there are hundreds of files are there. There are not one or two or three branches. There are more than 20, 30 branches are there. He has to maintain all those branches. So the complexity will increase more and more if you are working in a real time. Correct? So that's how the nature of the Git admin, that he has to always monitor or maintain all these branches. I've not yet come to the few more things, because see, one thing in a very crux you understood that why we need a branch means actually to keep your separate local copy within you, that you need to do a branch. To avoid unnecessary committing to the either to staging or the master branch, it is always better to do the committing n number of commits within a local branch only. This to avoid any kind of a conflicts or any kind of a like triggering more number of jobs. You can avoid by having a branch. This is the crux of understanding the branching concept. Later, what happened, right? If there any merge conflict is happening, how to resolve the merge conflict? Now, again, the Git admin has to do merge conflicts also. There are many other things other where the Git admin will take care. So that we will be covering as a tomorrow. And after, how to delete all these branchings. Okay, you have created branches now. Finally, I want to delete it. Oh, we'll also see how to delete a branch also tomorrow. Like that. So, guys, hope you understood it. Tomorrow we are stopping now. We'll continue tomorrow and the same from the same place. We will continue tomorrow, and we will cover all these topics, whatever is said. Right? These topics are all very interesting topics which we will be covering. Everything. Right? Chalo, guys. Thank you all. And tomorrow we will maybe I might call you to come at the same time, 7 o'clock in the evening, so that we will cover all the topics. Sure. So
Sure,
2
sir.
to 3 sessions are left. We will cover that so that we will have a complete Git is completed in our Git series we have completed. Okay. Chalo then. Thank you all. Bye. Thank you, Naresh, and thank you
Thank
others
you, sir.
Thank you,
for
sir.
sitting for so long time. Yeah. Bye.